Welcome to the 9th episode of this series about our American West and the Stephens-Townsend-Murphy Party. Every other week, we'll share a 10-minute slice of some of the best stories about how the American West came to be and California grew to become the fourth largest economy in the world. It all began in the mid-1800s, following an immigrant migration that began as a trickle, then became a massive movement, fueled by desire for land, economic opportunities, and escaping hardships. In this episode, we explore how these trailblazing pioneers helped shape the political, economic, and social foundations of the Golden State. From founding towns and guiding future settlers to influencing agriculture, medicine, and education, their legacy reaches far beyond their arrival. We hope you enjoy.
Last time, we really got into the incredible journey of the Stephens-Townsend-Murphy Party of 1844, those 52 pioneers who trailblazed that new wagon route over the Sierra Nevada. I mean, it was brutal, epic trek. Really defines pioneer.
Absolutely. Getting wagons over that route for the first time, that was an immense feat. Just sheer endurance and innovation.
Yeah.
But, you know, as challenging as the journey was, what they actually did after they arrived, well, that might be even more impactful in the long run.
And that's exactly our focus. It wasn't just about, getting to California. It was about fundamentally shaping it. We've been digging into a source summary that really lays out the profound influence these individuals had, once they stepped off the trail and into Alta California.
Right. I mean, it's one thing to survive the wilderness. That's tough enough. But it's another thing entirely to immediately turn around and use that grit, that vision towards building communities, economies, institutions, all in a brand new land.
So our mission today is to uncover exactly how these pioneers, after that, incredible journey, didn't just find a new life, but actively built the foundations of what would become the California Republic.
Yeah, what were the specific contributions? What made their post-arrival impact so significant?
Let's unpack this. Maybe start by looking at some of the key players, those who led the way, both on the trail and in those first years in California.
Where better to start than the top? Elisha Stevens. The man who actually led the wagons over the mountains.
You'd think after that he'd just want a quiet life.
Well, eventually he did find one. He initially settled in the area we now know as Cupertino. There's actually a creek named after him there. But fascinatingly, even in early California, he found it too crowded.
Too crowded back then in the 1840s. Wow. That really tells you something about his need for space, maybe after the trail.
So he moves south, down to Kern County, for a quieter, easier life, apparently. Tending bees, raising chickens. It's interesting, isn't it? The leader of this pivotal journey sought solitude, and his official recognition, Mount Stevens up in the Sierra, that didn't come until 150 years later, 1994.
Wow, a really delayed honor for such a groundbreaking effort.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. John Townsend, he took a completely different path, didn't he? Right away, using his skills.
He did. He wasn't just the party's physician on the trail. He became the first American licensed physician in California.
The first.
And he established a successful practice, got into other business ventures too.
And he also moved into politics.
Yeah.
Becoming the first non-Spanish alcalde, the mayor, basically, of San Francisco. How significant was that?
Immensely. As alcalde, he was effectively the chief magistrate, combining administrative and judicial roles. It put him right in a position to directly influence local governance, the shape of San Francisco, right from the start. He wasn't just treating patients, he was helping structure the society itself.
That's a powerful testament to the diverse talents in that group. But it's also a tragic story. He and his wife, Elizabeth, they died from cholera in 1850.
Yeah, while treating an outbreak down in San Jose, leaving behind their infant son.
Oh, wow.
A really poignant reminder of the risks that were still very real and the dedication these people had to their new communities.
Definitely. Moving on then, we have Martin Murphy Sr., the patriarch of that large Murphy family in the party.
Right. He established his home near Gilroy, named it San Martin, a nice nod to his patron saint.
And the source mentions it was on the stagecoach route. Became known for Irish hospitality.
Yeah, this wasn't just a house, it was a hub. Being on that Monterey to San Jose route meant he was part of the vital infrastructure connecting early California.
Right.
His hospitality built community, and his faith was really evident. He built an open chapel on his property. And like many early leaders, he also served as a justice of the peace, bringing, law and order.
And his business vision seems pretty clear, too, and generational, acquiring thousands of acres with his sons. That really set the stage for California's agricultural boom.
Oh, absolutely. That scale of land acquisition so early on was just foundational. It enabled the kind of large-scale farming that would define the state's economy later.
We can't forget Chief Truckee either. He was so indispensable on the journey itself.
And his role didn't end when they reached California. He kept guiding pioneers west. He was even involved in the Mexican-American War in 1846. But what really stands out is his foresight. Encouraging his own people to get educated by the pioneers. He saw the future coming, wanted his community prepared.
And his legacy is maybe the most geographically obvious today. Truckee, California, the Truckee River.
Exactly. A lasting tribute to a really crucial figure in that whole westward movement. But, it wasn't just the designated leaders who made waves. So many other members of the party spread out and left really significant marks on early California.
Okay, let's explore some of those. Moses Schallenberger, for instance. We know him from that solitary winter in the cabin.
A true survivor, like you said. And upon reaching California, he immediately took on this really practical, vital role, locating and acquiring supplies for the U.S. Navy.
To the Navy, interesting.
Yeah, and he also delivered supplies to gold miners along the Yuba River, which put him right in the middle of the next major California event, the Gold Rush.
And there's a touching personal connection, too. Didn't he adopt the infant son of his deceased sister, Elizabeth Townsend, and Dr. John Townsend?
He did. It really highlights those bonds formed on the trail, didn't it?
Yeah.
And beyond supply lines, he also settled down to farm, became one of San Jose's earliest horticulturists, established a large orchard. So, from extreme survival to supporting military logistics, the gold rush, and developing agriculture, quite a path.
Definitely multifaceted. What about Caleb Old Greenwood? Another experienced guide.
His dedication seemed to be mostly about bringing more people west. He apparently made several trips back over the Sierra, guiding new settlers.
Okay.
But his most critical impact after the main journey, using his knowledge and experience for the Donner Party relief efforts, spring of 47, he was instrumental in saving lives there.
Wow. That's a powerful way his skills continue to serve others long after his own party arrived.
Exactly. And then there's Isaac Boldman Hitchcock and his daughter, Elizabeth Patterson.
Where did they end up?
They settled near Santa Cruz. Their contributions seem centered around community development. Hitchcock actually became a founding member of the first Masonic Lodge there.
Ah, okay. So building institutions.
Precisely. It points to the formal establishment of, social and civic structures in these new towns. They weren't just farming, they were building the fabric of society.
Creating those key community pillars.
Yeah.
Sarah Armstrong Montgomery is another fascinating individual story mentioned.
Yeah, she married Joseph Wallace, and they acquired the Mayfield farmland, which later became part of Palo Alto. But the source really highlights her business acumen, investing in the San Francisco and San Jose railroads. Actively lobbying for infrastructure like the California Avenue station, she clearly saw the future in connectivity and growth.
And her influence wasn't just economic, was it? The source mentions advocacy.
Yes, a vocal advocate for women's rights, recognized for her work in suffrage education. That's impact that goes way beyond just physical settlement or business deals.
Absolutely. Contributing to the social and political landscape in a really progressive way for that time.
Definitely. Finally, Dennis Martin, remembered for rescuing Schallenberger.
Right, the heroics. Where did he settle?
In what became Menlo Park. And his key contribution, establishing the lumber business there.
Ah, crucial.
Absolutely fundamental. You need lumber for everything, homes, businesses, infrastructure in a new settlement.
Makes sense.
And he also built the St. Denis Chapel in 1853, showing a commitment to the spiritual needs as well as the physical needs of that growing community.
So from heroism on the trail to literally providing the materials and places of worship for building a town.
Yeah. It's clear the impact was incredibly diverse, spread wide among the party members, but the source material we looked at really emphasizes one family, above all others, in terms of the scale and longevity of their influence.
Ah, yes, you mentioned this earlier. It singles out the Murphy family.
It does. It states pretty clearly that the Murphy family made the most significant and lasting impact on the development and history of California. Their story post-arrival is, it's quite remarkable in its scope.
Okay, let's dive into that, starting with John and Dan Murphy.
Right. So they set up a trading post. up in the Sierra Nevada foothills.
Okay.
Now, this wasn't just some lodal store. It directly supported and, frankly, fueled the gold mining boom that just exploded in the late 1840s. They were perfectly positioned strategically to capitalize on the gold rush.
And that strategic position led to, well, immense wealth, right? Vast land and cattle holdings.
The scale is just staggering. Dan Murphy became known as a cattle king across multiple states, Nevada, Idaho, and was, at one point, the largest landowner in the entire United States.
Wow. The largest landowner in the U.S.
It's incredible, their ability to leverage that initial position into that kind of wealth, that scale of land ownership. It fundamentally shaped the agricultural landscape for generations.
And John Murphy wasn't just focused on accumulating wealth. He was building institutions down in San Jose.
That's right. He served as one of the first regidors, kind of like sheriffs, elected to help maintain order back in 1847.
Crucial during that period.
Yeah, and later he served multiple terms on the San Jose City Council, especially during that chaotic gold rush growth period, providing essential governance stability in a, rapidly changing environment.
Using his resources for the community.
Right.
What about James Murphy, another brother?
Yep. He was also involved early on in the lumber industry, and significantly, he built the Leidstoff Pier in Yerba Buena.
Yerba Buena, which became San Francisco.
Exactly. That pier was critical infrastructure for the port, enabling trade and growth for what would become California's major city. James also settled near San Jose, became an influential landowner, and was notable for planting one of the first olive orchards in Santa Clara County.
Olive orchards, so showing agricultural innovation beyond just livestock and grains.
Right, diversifying crops, setting new agricultural trends for the area.
Okay, and Ellen Murphy, sister.
Yes. She actually co-founded the town of Stockton with her husband, Charles Weber.
Co-founded Stockton.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the source highlights her support for many social causes, her reputation for kindness and hospitality along the El Camino Real. So she contributed significantly to building a prominent new urban center and its social character.
Building a major city from the ground up. Incredible. And Mary Murphy.
She settled in what's now Marin County with her husband, James Miller. They were pivotal in developing Santa Fe, and they became one of Marin's largest landowners, acquired over 8,000 acres. That land formed the basis for incredibly diverse businesses: farming, cattle, breeding horses and mules, dairy farming.
Another example of a Murphy family branch, just laying this broad foundational economic groundwork for an entire region.
Exactly. But as you mentioned, the source really singles out Martin Murphy Jr. and his wife, Mary Bolger Murphy, making the most significant impact.
Right. At both local and state levels, it said.
They are. Their influence was felt really deeply. So after selling a large property they had near Sacramento, they made this truly consequential purchase, about 4,300 acres in the Santa Clara Valley.
And that land would eventually become Silicon Valley.
Precisely. The scale of just that initial purchase in historical context is staggering.
Yeah.
And they didn't stop there. They kept acquiring land, hundreds of thousands of acres across California. They acted as a primary catalyst for the state's whole agricultural economy.
How so specifically?
Well, they introduced key innovations. Things like Norman horses, new varieties of wheat. They initiated large-scale orchards, brought in advanced farming equipment.
So they were essentially bringing cutting-edge agricultural practices to California, but on an enormous scale.
You got it. And their wealth, their influence, directly accelerated San Jose's development, too. They funded and built the city's first permanent brick structures.
Providing essential infrastructure that would actually last.
Yes. And their political influence was also profound. Family members like Bernard and Patrick Murphy served multiple terms in the state legislature, shaping laws, policy.
Wow.
Other family members, Bernard again and Martin J. Murphy, were driving forces in the financial and banking industry as well.
So economic, agricultural, infrastructural, and political power, all concentrated in this one family branch. It's just an incredible picture of influence.
It really is.
But let's make sure we highlight Mary Bolger Murphy's role. She was vital.
Absolutely critical, a driving force behind the Murphy family. Known for kindness, caring, yes, but crucially, she was a strong proponent of education.
Okay.
And this wasn't just a casual interest. It was a core reason the family originally left Ireland way back in 1820 to seek better educational opportunities.
So education was this deep, long-held value for them.
Exactly. And her partnership with Martin Jr. directly translated that value into lasting institutions here in California. Working with key religious figures like Archbishop Alemany and the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, Their donations of land, money, and importantly, political influence were instrumental in establishing what are now Santa Clara University and Notre Dame de Namur University.
Wait, Santa Clara University, Notre Dame de Namur, they helped found those.
Directly through their vision and resources. Think about that. University is still thriving today. It shows a commitment to building a future for everyone, not just accumulating personal wealth.
That's an incredible legacy.
It really is. So when you look at the collective impact, from Elisha Stevens seeking space, Dr. Townsend building San Francisco's early governance, Martin Murphy Sr.'s hospitality hubs, Chief Truckee guiding others,
Schallenberger supporting the Navy and Gold Rush, Montgomery advocating for women, Dennis Martin providing lumber.
Right. And then the sheer scale of the Murphys' contributions land, agriculture, finance, politics, education. You just see this incredible, diverse legacy stemming from this one single party of pioneers.
From surviving that initial brutal journey to building communities, driving economic booms, literally shaping physical landscapes, creating political structures, founding major educational institutions. It really is a far cry from just finding a better life.
Yeah. That initial shared goal, they had opportunity, religious freedom, it just unfolded into something vastly larger than they probably ever imagined.
It really makes you appreciate when those 52 weary pioneers finally regrouped at Sutter's Fort, having survived against all odds. They'd accomplished something far greater than just getting themselves across the mountains.
Oh, undoubtedly. They succeeded in opening a path that thousands upon thousands would follow. And in doing so, they fundamentally, irrevocably changed the landscape and the future of California.
They were aiming for survival, for opportunity, but the unforeseen consequence of their effort was laying so much of the groundwork for a new state.
It certainly gives you pause, doesn't it? It makes you consider how much the true long-term impact of our own maybe challenging journeys or the decisions we make today, how much of that will only become fully clear maybe generations down the line.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and invite you to learn more about the Stephens-Townsend-Murphy Party at our websites. We provide links in the show notes. Look for more American West Live deep dives every other week right here, or head over to our website at historyexp.org or YouTube channel at History Expeditions. From all of us at History Expeditions and the Sunnyvale Heritage Park Museum, we look forward to seeing you on the trail.